You listen to the gentle ticking of a clock. But what is it really measuring? Moments pass, but where do they go? Where do they come from? You begin to wonder if time is something outside you or something within you. Not just to sleep, but to drift into the folds of a question older than the stars. Word count, 1,200 words, asterisk, you lie still. Your body heavy against the mattress, and somewhere, not too far, a clock ticks. Softly, reassuringly, it marks time in even beats, one after the other, like footsteps in a hallway you cannot see. You've always trusted that sound. It tells you things are moving forward, that life is happening, that you are here, now, and not back then. But tonight, you wonder, what is the clock really counting? Is it measuring something real, like a ruler against wood? Or is it only giving shape to something your mind invented to make sense of change? The more you think about it, the more curious you become. What if time isn't real at all? Not in the way you've always assumed. You let yourself sink deeper into the thought, breathing slowly, gently. Around you, the world quiets. You're no longer just in a bedroom. You are floating in an idea, because time is strange. You feel it pass in seconds and minutes and years. You see it in birthdays, in gray hairs, in crumpled photographs. Yet you cannot hold it. You cannot find a piece of time. You cannot go and pick it up from a shelf or scoop it from a stream. It slips through everything, through fingers, through thoughts, through memories, and if you stop to truly notice, it behaves differently depending on what you're doing. 5 minutes in a dentist's chair stretch endlessly. 5 minutes of laughter vanished like mist. So which 5 minutes were real? Physics, the deep science of the universe, says time isn't as fixed as we once believed. Albert Einstein, with hair like a sleepy cloud and thoughts that bent the world, taught us that time stretches and squeezes depending on how fast you're moving or how much gravity presses down around you. Time, it turns out, is not the universal rhythm we thought it was. It's elastic. It's strange. It may not even be a thing at all. Some scientists go further. They ask, what if time doesn't exist as a fundamental part of the universe? What if it's just a byproduct, something that appears only because we perceive change, like how a movie looks like movement, even though it's just still frames flashing by quickly? You close your eyes and imagine yourself walking through a hallway made of snapshots. Each photo frozen, a moment of you tying your shoe, laughing with a friend, standing beneath a tree. Each image unchanging dot, but together they make a story. They feel like movement. They feel like time. Maybe that's all time really is. The sensation of moving through frozen pieces of a bigger picture. And maybe you're not moving at all. You breathe deeper. And now you're no longer just lying still. You're drifting through this hallway of memories. And the walls, they don't move. You do, or do you? It's here, in this curious place between sleep and science, that your mind stretches just a little further, because here's something even more mysterious in the deepest equations of physics, the ones that describe the very workings of the universe. Time often isn't there at all. The math doesn't need it. The equations hum quietly, describing how everything interacts and evolves, without ever mentioning the ticking you. Here on your wall, how strange, you begin to wonder if time is not something the universe has, but something you give to the universe. Like color to a painting, like rhythm to a song. Your brain, your senses, your perception, maybe they're the projectors, casting the illusion of time on the blank canvas of existence. A soft breath escapes your lips, because whether or not time is real, it feels real to you. Your days have structure. Your memories have order. Your heartbeat, your breath, your dreams, they seem to unfold one after another. And so, you live inside this rhythm. And your life finds comfort there. But just before sleep claims you, your thoughts drift again. What if you're not moving through time? What if time is moving through you? Like a wind, like a river dot. What if time passes through your mind, shaping what you feel, changing what you remember, while you, like the mountains, remain still in some higher way you can't yet sense? The idea lingers, soft and strange. You don't need to solve it tonight. Don't even need to understand it. You only need to feel its weightless question settle in your chest like a feather. What is the ticking counting, really? What if there is no tick, no talk? What if there's just this moment unfolding forever? You inhale slowly. Your body is heavier. Now your mind softer. The ticking continues. But it sounds a little different now. Not so much a measurement, but a melody. A lullaby written in numbers. A gentle voice whispering that not all is what it seems. And somewhere just beyond your closed eyes, another question is forming, delicate and unhurried. If time isn't real, then what is memory? Asterisk, tick by tick, the clock tells a story. But is it your story, or just a rhythm we've agreed to follow? You learn to measure moments, not because they're real, but because they're useful. The sun moves, shadows stretch, and sand slips quietly through glass. But time, as we know it, may only exist because we decided it should. Tonight, you float beyond the ticking hands, into the space where time dissolves. Asterisk, you open your eyes, not in a rush, not in a panic, just slowly, enough to feel the passage of something. You hear the soft tick of a clock on the wall, a quiet rhythm, a tiny sound, yet it governs so much of your life. But what is it measuring, really? Time, they say. Seconds, minutes, hours. Tiny fragments of something invisible, carved up like slices of air. But you begin to wonder, is the clock measuring time, or is it simply measuring itself? In your world, time surrounds everything. It's in the school bells, the schedules, the birthdays, and the deadlines. From the moment you're born, people mark your age by the turning of calendar pages. But calendars are human things. Clocks are human things. Nature knows nothing of them. A tree grows, but it doesn't rush. A river flows, but it doesn't check a watch. The stars drift across the sky, not with urgency, but with rhythm, a rhythm we noticed, then captured, then caged into numbers. Imagine, before humans invented clocks, time still moved. Or did it? You remember the sun rising in the east and sinking gently westward. It felt like time, didn't it? The changing light, the warmth, shifting through morning, noon, and night. But maybe that wasn't time at all. Maybe it was motion, and you, watching it. Here's something strange. The earth spins once every 24 hours. That's what we call a day. But the number 24, the idea of hours, that's our doing. We decided to divide the day, to give motion, a name, like a child giving names to stars in the sky. Tick, tock. The clock whispers again. You wonder, why does it feel so comforting, this steady beat? Perhaps because it's predictable. It gives shape to something formless. It wraps life in a rhythm, even if that rhythm is only real to us. You think of the sand timer, an hourglass, sand falling, grain by grain. It feels like time, doesn't it? But it's just gravity and glass. It's the same sand, whether you count it or not. And what about those times when time seems to vanish? When you're lost in a dream, or deeply in love, or standing at the edge of something breathtaking. The clock ticks on, but you don't feel it. Time evaporates. It's in those moments that you realize maybe time isn't a thing at all. Maybe it's a feeling. Some scientists say time is just a way we organize change. That it doesn't exist outside of our perception. Without change, there's no before or after, no sequence, no story. Just stillness. Close your eyes now. Picture yourself in a room where nothing changes. The air is still. Your breath is paused. Nothing moves. Is there time there? Or has time stopped because change has? You begin to understand. Maybe clocks don't measure time. Maybe they measure motion, repetition, cycles, a heartbeat, a sunrise dot, and maybe, just maybe, you've mistaken rhythm for reality. You float now, outside your usual schedule. No alarms, no appointments. Just you and the soft hum of existence. You feel how much of your life has been shaped by numbers on a dial. The anxiety of being late, the pressure of productivity, the need to make the most of your time. But time isn't something you can hold. It slips through every grip. If time is not real, or at least not the way you thought, then what is real? The warmth of a blanket, the hush of nighttime, the sound of your own breath as it slows. That's real, and now, so is this idea. Clocks don't tell time, they tell stories. Stories about structure, stories about civilization, but not stories about you, because you, the part of you that dreams and wonders. You exist outside those numbers. The clock ticks again, but this time you don't follow. You drift past its rhythm. You move deeper into the mystery. What if time isn't a line, but a loop? What if the past isn't gone and the future isn't waiting? What if they're all here right now, overlapping, whispering? You breathe in this thought, softly, like steam rising from tea. And as the hands of the clock keep turning in circles, you begin to wonder about another circle, one not made of gears, but gravity, a circle that bends not just hours and minutes, but light itself. Where does this circle take you next? Take you next? Inside your chest, beneath skin and breath, a quiet clock ticks, not of metal or gears, but of cells and signals. It knows when to wake, when to sleep, when to heal, and when to dream. Long before you saw a clock, this one was already keeping time. Tonight, we listen to your body's rhythm and wonder, who gave it the beat? We slow down and feel time from within. Asterisk, you close your eyes and you begin to drift. But inside you, something ancient is still ticking, not with sound, not with hands or numbers, but with rhythm. Your body has a clock. It doesn't live on your wrist, or on the wall, or in the glowing face of your phone. No, this one is deeper, nestled in your brain, near the crossing of nerves behind your eyes, in a place called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or the SCN. But don't worry about the name. Just imagine a tiny conductor deep inside your skull, quietly guiding a symphony of signals throughout your entire body. Each cell listens, each organ obeys, and together they follow a hidden rhythm that has kept you alive since before you were born. This rhythm is called your circadian rhythm, from the Latin circa, about, and diem, a day. It means your body isn't just reacting to time, it expects time. Even if you lived in total darkness without any clocks, your body would still wake and sleep in cycles close to 24 hours long. Isn't that curious? Before we ever named ours, your body already knew them. Before you were taught what morning meant, your cells were already shifting into day mode, raising your temperature, boosting your alertness, preparing you to move and think and explore. And as the light faded outside, your body dimmed inside too, releasing melatonin like a gentle curtain, slowing your heart, softening your thoughts, inviting sleep. You are a clock made of stardust and nerve endings. But where did this internal rhythm come from? To find out, we must go far, far back, not just years or centuries, but billions of rotations ago, to when Earth first spun beneath a newborn sun. The planet turned, day followed night, and all living things adapted. The very first life simple, soft organisms floating in ancient oceans began to sync their chemistry to the light and dark of the sky. They didn't have eyes or thoughts or calendars, but they knew when light was coming. They felt it in the waves of energy. And so their survival became tied to a cycle, a rotation, a rhythm, in a way. You are carrying their memory. Your circadian rhythm is a living echo of Earth's spin. But the story doesn't end there. Because your body doesn't just track one time, it tracks many. Each organ, your liver, your heart, your skin, has its own tiny clock, influenced by the master conductor in your brain, but capable of keeping its own beat. When you eat, your liver starts ticking differently. When you move, your muscles shift time zones. If your master clock says it's midnight, but your phone light says it's day, the two clocks argue. That's why you feel jet lag, or why staying up too late feels like falling out of step with yourself. Your body isn't just in time. Your body creates time, at least its own version of it. Imagine each part of you as a planet orbiting around a common sun. Some parts move faster, others slower, but together they form a solar system of motion. That's what you are, a cosmos of tiny, ticking worlds, synchronized but fragile now. Imagine what happens when you ignore those rhythms, when you eat at midnight, or stare at blue screens long past sunset, or skip sleep for days. The clocks inside you lose harmony. Signals become jumbled. Your mood shifts. Your memory fogs. Even your immune system weakens. It's not just discomfort. It's a kind of time sickness, as if your internal world is spinning at the wrong speed. But there's something beautiful in this, because when you listen, when you rise with the sun and rest with the stars, your body rewards you. It feels easier, calmer. You begin to align not just with yourself, but with the ancient pulse of the earth. You, the modern human with wires and apps and alarms, are still a creature of dawn and dusk. So tonight, as your breathing slows and your thoughts begin to float, feel the quiet ticking within you. That rhythm, soft and steady, isn't random. It's not mechanical. It's alive. It's your body whispering, "Now rest." And as you lie there, wondering about this internal metronome, a question floats gently into view. Your body tells time what happens when time changes. What if time bends, or stretches, or loops back on itself? You feel it coming. A new idea. Time not just in your body, but in the universe itself. Asterisk, time ticks by. A rhythm so steady you barely notice it. But is the universe really so mechanical, or is that just how we've learned to see it? Tonight, you drift into the illusion of the clock, the myth of seconds and gears. Because beneath the ticking, there might be only unfolding, not timing. Let's visit the watchmaker and ask him what time truly means. Asterisk, you lie still, wrapped in the soft quiet of night, and hear the faint tick-tick. A clock somewhere in the room marks each passing second. But is it marking time, or simply repeating itself like a metronome, a machine doing what it was built to do? The watch on your wrist, the phone by your side, the towering clocks in public squares, they all agree on one thing. Time is passing. It moves forward. It cannot be reversed, and every second is exactly the same. But what if this uniformity is an illusion? What if we have mistaken the tool for the truth? Imagine an old watchmaker in a quiet village. He bends over his tiny desk, assembling brass gears and silver springs. His fingers, gentle and knowing, building perfect little machines. Each one ticks predictably, reliably. And soon, people begin to believe that time itself ticks that way. You see, clocks don't measure time. They mimic a rhythm we trust. They impose regularity onto a universe that may not care for regularity at all. In the silence between ticks, reality could be breathing in a different rhythm altogether. The ancient Greeks thought time flowed like a river, but rivers speed up and slow down, swirl and split, freeze and flood. Einstein came along and shattered even that notion. He told us time was not universal, not one river, but many, all flowing at different rates. A clock on a satellite, miles above Earth, ticks faster than the one in your hand. Time bends near gravity. It warps and weaves. It is not constant, and yet we still wear watches. You imagine the watchmaker, frowning now, not at his craftsmanship, but at our dependence on it. His clocks were meant to be helpful, not holy. But somewhere along the way, we decided his little ticking machines were more real than the stars. That his gears spoke truth, not just convenience. Children learn to read clocks before they understand what time feels like. And so they grow up believing time is something separate from them, something external, cold, fixed. But in truth, your body tells its own time. Your breath, your heartbeat, your dreams, your aging, and none of these follow the mechanical ticking of a clock. Look at your breath right now. It doesn't tick, it flows, sometimes deep, sometimes shallow, sometimes held, sometimes hurried. And yet, it tells a story of your present, far more intimate than any numbered dial. The philosopher Henry Bergson warned us about clock time and lived time. He said we confuse the measurement with the experience. Clocks cut time into pieces, seconds, minutes, hours. But you live time as a continuous unfolding. You feel a moment stretch when you're in awe and shrink when you're distracted. Ask yourself this: have you ever watched a sunset and lost track of time? Felt an hour pass in what seemed like minutes, or waited 5 minutes that felt like hours? That's not the clock failing. That's you reminding yourself that time, real. Time is subjective, not imagined, but experienced. The watchmaker's illusion is this: that time must be divided, regular and moving in one direction. But modern physics has peeled back that illusion. In quantum mechanics, time isn't even necessary to describe. Some fundamental processes and some equations work the same whether time moves forward or backward. To the math of the universe, direction may not matter at all. But you are not an equation. You are a story being told moment by moment, not in seconds, but in sensations. The stars don't tick. The wind doesn't hurry. The forest doesn't wear a watch. And yet, life continues beautifully, mysteriously, without exact measurement. You begin to wonder, if time isn't ticking, then what is it doing? Is it unfolding like a flower, spiraling like a galaxy, flickering like a candle? Or maybe it's simply waiting for you to notice it, not as a schedule, but as presence. Perhaps the most freeing truth is this: time is not something you chase, it's something you dwell within, and when you stop chasing it, you begin to feel it like warm water surrounding you, supporting you, not pushing you forward, not pulling you back. The old watchmaker places his final clock on the shelf. He sighs, not with fatigue, but with a quiet wonder. Even he knows deep down that all his precise hands and ticking hearts are only shadows of something deeper and now. As you lie here, listening to your own breath, you may sense that too, that the illusion is lifting, and that the next chapter may not tick at all. It may shimmer. The ticking of clocks surrounds you steady, confident, unchanging. But what if those ticks do not reflect reality, only our need for order? You explore how humans crafted time to tame the unknown, and how the mechanical rhythm hides the chaos underneath. Tonight, you begin to see that the clock might be lying. Asterisk, you hear it tick, tick, to kite the heartbeat of the room. The clock does not tire. It does not question. Its hands sweep endlessly in circles, telling you when to rise, when to eat, when to sleep. But beneath this steady rhythm lies a truth less tidy, more wild dot. You lie still, your body soft against the mattress. Somewhere in your house, the kitchen clock hums faintly. Its minute hand shifts forward, announcing time's passing like a loyal announcer. But does it truly know what time is? Or is it simply repeating what it's been told? Clocks are machines, not witnesses. They do not feel the ache of a long day, nor the way time bends during grief, or how it races during joy. They measure seconds, equally, but you, your body, your mind, you know that not all seconds are the same. Close your eyes and imagine you are deep in the forest, no phone, no watch, no ticking to remind you where you are. The sun arcs through the sky. The birds follow patterns known only to instinct. The wind does not know it is 3:12 p.m., and still everything moves as it should. Time existed long before we began counting it, long before sand trickled through glass, before gears clicked into place inside brass casings, before quartz pulsed beneath digital faces. There was only motion. The turning of earth, the blooming of flowers, the waxing of moons. And then, one day, we reached for certainty. We carved time into slices, minutes and hours, as if we could tame it, as if we could own it. But in carving it up, did we lose something softer, something more human? Think of the earliest clocks, sundials, casting shadows across stone. They told time through the dance of sunlight. Later, water clocks dripped and pooled, a slow rhythm drawn from nature itself. Even fire clocks, burning ropes with knots, marked time through change. through loss, and then came the mechanical clock, precise, dominant, relentless. It did not care for clouds or seasons. It did not bend for feeling. It marched on, tick by tick, teaching us to value each moment equally, even when our hearts knew better. At school, you learned to obey the bell. At work, the meeting starts at 10. Dinner is at 7. Midnight is when dreams begin, or when the day resets. And yet, within you, time does not tick like a clock. Your heartbeat speeds when you're nervous, slows when you're calm. Your mind drifts into memory or leaps ahead to possibility. Time for you is not linear. It folds, stretches, vanishes in the hospital room, waiting for news. Minutes become hours. In a lover's arms, hours feel like seconds. Why does time behave differently inside of us than it does on the wall? Maybe because the clock is a tool, not a truth. It's a language, a metaphor, a way to speak about the unknowable. But it is not time itself. Ask a tree what time it is. It will not answer, but its rings remember. Its leaves fall in rhythm with the planet, not with your calendar. Ask a newborn what time it is. They will only cry, only feel hunger, warmth, need. Time to them is not 3:47. It is now, only now. Even Einstein once said, time is what a clock measures. But that doesn't mean it's all there is. In his world, clocks tick at different speeds in different places. Speed up, slow down time follows. Even the machines must obey the physics. And so, if time can bend, what are we really counting? As you lie in the dark, listen again to the ticking. It's no longer a master. It's a metronome, a song we wrote to keep ourselves in step. But it's only one rhythm in a symphony that plays far deeper, far wider. Your breath, slow and steady, moves to your own tempo now, no longer ruled by the rigid dial, but by sensation, by being, by presence. The illusion of clocks begins to dissolve. They help you structure your days, but they cannot hold what you feel. They cannot map the richness of a moment lived fully, of a memory held tightly, of a future dreamed. And so, you breathe and let go of the ticking. Not in rebellion, but in return. Return to a gentler rhythm, the one written in your cells, in the stars, in the tides. What happens when the ticking stops? When there are no more numbers to obey? You may find something more ancient, more true, waiting in the quiet space beyond the dial. And that question, soft and steady, leads you to the next wondering. If clocks cannot tell us what time truly is, then what does? Asterix, you are more than just a person moving through time. You carry time within you. Your body is a quiet clock, ticking in ways you barely notice. From your heartbeats to the rhythms of your sleep, you follow patterns older than civilization. Let's slow down and listen to the ticking within, and wonder how your body tells time without needing to ask asterisk. The quiet room around you fades. You feel the softness of the pillow beneath your head, and slowly, gently, your attention turns inward. You've been surrounded by clocks all your life, on the walls, on your phone, in every corner of the world, ticking. But the most faithful timekeeper you've ever known lives inside of you. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine your body as a little house, one that keeps time with soft whispers and quiet rhythms. Your heart, it's not just an organ pumping blood. It's a metronome. Each beat is a reminder that time is not something you chase. It's something you are. From the moment you were born, your heart has kept a steady rhythm. And though it speeds up when you're scared or slows when you sleep, it never truly stops ticking. Close your eyes. Imagine your heart like a drummer in a great orchestra, keeping a beat that your body moves to. No matter what, but the heart isn't the only timekeeper. Your body holds dozens of invisible clocks ticking, not in seconds or hours, but in cycles. One of the most powerful is the circadian rhythm, a 24-hour cycle that tells you when to wake, when to sleep, when to feel hungry, when to dream. This rhythm doesn't come from outside. It doesn't need a watch. Even in complete darkness, deep in a cave where no sunlight reaches, your body would still follow a rhythm close to 24 hours. Why? Because deep in your brain, in a tiny region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, sits a clock made of cells. These cells fire in patterns. You're not just moving through time. Time is moving through you. Have you noticed how you feel drowsy at the same hour each night? Or how your body seems to wake just minutes before the alarm rings? That's your inner timekeeper, quiet, patient, always watching the sun, even when you're not. And this inner clock, it's older than memory. Even animals have it, from birds who know when to migrate to flowers that open with the dawn. Timekeeping is not a human invention. It is a biological need, one that has been carried through generations like a song passed from mother to child. Listen to your breath. It comes in waves, like the ocean, slow and steady. Your lungs rise and fall, not randomly, but with rhythm. Your body is never still. It flows with heartbeats, with breath, with temperature shifts and hormone tides. At dawn, your body begins to warm. Your brain releases cortisol, a chemical to help you wake. Your blood pressure rises gently. You stretch, you move, you begin again. At night, the rhythm changes. Your brain sends signals to release melatonin, the sleep chemical. Your heart slows. Your body cools. Your eyelids grow heavy as they are now. And this cycle doesn't just run once. It repeats every day, every night, every breath. But what happens when this rhythm is disturbed? Think about jet lag, that strange, foggy feeling when you travel across time zones. Your body doesn't just notice the difference, it feels lost. It's as if your internal orchestra is playing the wrong song at the wrong time. Your stomach growls in the middle of the night. You feel wide awake when the world around you is sleeping. That's not confusion. That's the body asking, where did time go? Even small disruptions, staring at a bright screen late into the night, can shift your internal clock. That's why you feel groggy after a night of doom scrolling. Your body didn't know it was bedtime. The light told it, stay awake. So tonight, you've done something special. You've turned down the light. You've curled into a blanket, and you've let your body's clock begin its gentle descent toward sleep. Your body, your soft, warm, breathing body, is not following the world's ticking clocks anymore. It's following you, your breath, your heartbeat, your own time. You are no longer racing the minutes. You are listening to them, and slowly, as your body relaxes, as your limbs grow heavy, and your thoughts slow down, something magical happens. You begin to let go of time altogether. Not because time disappears, but because your body finally trusts the rhythm it's always known. Let yourself feel that trust. Your body knows how to rest. It knows when to sleep. It knows how to dream. You don't have to force anything. You are already exactly where you need to be, inside the quiet clock of your own self. And as your breath slows, your mind begins to drift toward the next question. If time is inside us, then what happens when we sleep? Does time continue? Or does it pause until we wake again? Your body flows with rhythms you rarely notice, gentle pulses, steady beats, and chemical clocks. From the rise of morning hormones to the soft fall of nightly melatonin, time lives inside your veins. But where do these biological clocks come from, and how do they know the hour? Tonight, you'll drift through the secret timings of your body and the strange science of circadian life. As you listen, you'll feel your body syncing with a rhythm older than memory. Asterisk, there's a clock inside you, and it does not tick, it does not chime or move its hands. It is quieter than silence, softer than breath, and yet it governs your days and your nights. It whispers when you should wake and hums when you begin to grow tired. This hidden timekeeper is not built of gears or wires, but of chemistry, light, and memory. You wake not because the sun is bright, but because a silent command has passed through your bloodstream. Cortisol, a stress hormone, but also a sunrise signal, rises just before dawn, like a whisper under your skin. It tells your cells the day has begun, and all through the day, its chemical rhythm plays out like an orchestra of invisible instruments. Your body temperature slowly climbs, your blood pressure rises. Even your reaction time improves in a late afternoon. Your body knows when it's time to be most alert, even if you're unaware. You may think of time as a number on a clock, but to your body, time is a pattern, a song, a loop it never stops dancing to. These rhythms are called circadian, from the Latin circadem, meaning about a day. Your cells, from brain to liver, from skin to bones, all carry tiny clocks of their own, ticking softly in harmony. They are tuned not by ticking hands or human schedules, but by light. Light, the silent sculptor of time, when morning light touches your eyes. Even through closed lids, it sends a signal deep into your brain. There, nestled between folds of gray matter, is the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a cluster of neurons no bigger than a grain of rice. Yet this cluster is your master clock, the quiet conductor of your biological symphony. It tells the rest of your body what time it is based on light, not your phone, not your wall clock. Just the soft language of sunlight, and when darkness falls, another chemical steps in: melatonin, the hormone of dusk. It flows into your bloodstream like fog rolling over a quiet lake. Doesn't knock you out, it simply whispers, slow down now, the day is done. Even your digestion knows this. Late at night, your stomach becomes slower, quieter. Your liver stops processing sugar as efficiently. Your metabolism cools. To eat at midnight is to go against an ancient tide inside you. You are a living clock, and every organ keeps its own beat. But these rhythms don't just come from the sun. They're older than your alarm clock, older than cities, older than even the first human fire. They come from a time when the only clock was the turning earth. Even plants sleep. Even bacteria follow light-dark cycles. Even your pet dog or cat, asleep at your feet, carries this same ancient rhythm in their blood. Time, it seems, is not something you wear on your wrist. It's something you are. But what happens when you ignore it? When you stay up under artificial light? When you shift time zones or work at night? Your body resists. At first, it grows confused. Sleep becomes shallow. Focus scatters. Your cells become misaligned, like instruments playing out of tune. And long-term, scientists have found that disrupted circadian rhythms affect your memory, your mood, your immune system, even how your genes behave. Time is not passive. It shapes you. Still, your body forgives. It tries again and again to find its rhythm, to remember the melody, to return to the flow of night and day, light and dark dot. So when you rest tonight, as you lie still, listening, your melatonin is gently rising. Your heart slows ever so slightly. Your brain cools like a glowing ember easing into ash. You are not falling asleep. You are returning to your rhythm. Deeper you remembers this dance, and maybe, just maybe, time isn't something imposed on your body. Maybe your body is time, a moving wave, a pulsing ocean, a breathing record of the earth's turning dot. And now, as your own rhythm slows, let's follow it deeper into a place where time becomes tangled with dreams, where memory meets rhythm, where what happened and what feels like it happened are no longer the same thing. Asterisk, and if your body tells time with chemicals and pulses, then what about your memories? What keeps time inside your mind? And can that time ever truly be trusted?